Hi everyone! This video starts a series of lectures intended to provide a comprehensive explanation of Russian verb conjugation. As you may know, conjugation means that a verb changes its form depending on its subject in a sentence. As a striking example of conjugation, let's consider English verb to be. Verb forms are highlighted pink here. As you can see, these are different for different subject pronouns. In Russian, verbs are said to be conjugated in the present and future tenses only. Whether a conjugated form means present or future tense depends on whether the verb is imperfective or perfective correspondingly. All these examples are imperfective verbs, so their conjugated forms denote the present tense. In the past tense, verbs do also agree with the subject, but they do it in a different manner, more similar to adjectives. That's why Russian verbs are said to be declined in the past tense instead of conjugated. Just like in English and most other languages, there are irregular verbs in Russian, whose conjugation cannot be guessed just by knowing the infinitive. However, most verbs are regular. But correlation between the infinitive of a verb and its conjugation pattern will be considered in further lectures. These infinitives are given here only for reference. This lecture is dedicated to the endings of present-future forms and of the imperative. The most important present-future form is the third-person plural. That is the one that comes with the pronoun они, they, or with plural nouns. We will call it they form. It contains most information required to restore the other forms of conjugation pattern. All Russian verbs are subdivided into two conjugation types, the so-called first conjugation and the second conjugation. The form of first conjugation verbs has two written variants of ending. Choice between these two variants is based on general Russian spelling rules, and depends on the stem's last sound preceding the ending, while the pronounced ending doesn't depend on the stem's last sound. Such endings are highlighted gray here and further. Thus, the pronounced ending of the first conjugation they form is always ut. It's the Latin-based international phonetic transcription that is used here to demonstrate pronunciation, though it's been slightly modified. Russian letters stand here instead of special characters of the international phonetic transcription. Soft consonant sounds are marked with this special superscript. Let's now consider some examples of the first conjugation. We take verb слать, to send. The form of this verb is они шлют, they send. It has pronounced ending ut, and the written ending variant with the letter u, because this verb belongs to the first conjugation. Next, we take verb прятать, to hide. Its they form is они прячут, they hide. Its pronounced ending is also ut, though it's spelled with letter u in this verb. So this verb belongs to the first conjugation too. The form of second conjugation verbs has these two written variants of ending, which are both pronounced at if stressed. When unstressed, this ending has normally its vowel reduced and is pronounced at. Let's now see examples of the second conjugation. Verb звучать, to sound, has the form они звучат, they sound. Its pronounced ending is at. The written ending has a letter a. This means that verb звучать belongs to the second conjugation. The last example is verb верить, to believe. Its they form is они верят, they believe. It has pronounced ending от and written ending with letter я. So verb верить also belongs to the second conjugation. As I told, endings of they form may be influenced by stress position. In other conjugated forms this influence may be even greater, but note that these written endings are not interrelated with stress position. Next we'll consider conjugation patterns of both first and second conjugations, with both stressed and unstressed endings. Now let's briefly remember the personal pronouns. These are singular personal pronouns, and these are plural personal pronouns. Я means I. Ты means informal you when addressing to one person. Он, he. Оно, it. Она, she. Мы, we. Вы is informal you when addressing to more than one person. Вы, written with the capital letter, is polite formal you addressed to any number of persons. In conjugation it acts the same way as the informal вы. And finally они, they. Conjugation pattern number 1 that we look at is the first conjugation with stressed endings. Let's assume that we already know the form of any verb and use it as the initial form to construct the other forms of the pattern. This pattern is followed by one of the verbs just mentioned. Its they form is они шлют, they send. If we now remove endings of this form, then we get the conjugated stem of this verb, which is шль. Letter L of the written stem stands for soft sound L of the pronounced stem. This is indicated in spelling by using the ending variant with soft vowel letter U, which follows letter L. Both written and pronounced stems do not change throughout this pattern, while endings may be different. Now let's proceed to I form. Its pronounced ending is U. This ending also has two variants of spelling, because sound U can be denoted either with letter U or with letter U. And again, choice between them depends on the stem's last sound. Here the correct letter is U, for the same reason as in they form. As the ending of I form can have two variants of spelling, it is highlighted gray. Thus, I form of this verb is я шлю, I send. Next comes singular you form. Its pronounced ending is osh. But this ending has only one variant of spelling within one pattern. Such endings are highlighted blue here and further. Softness of sound L is denoted here with soft vowel letter yo. Like all endings in this pattern, this ending is stressed. However, the stress mark is not needed here, because letter yo always stands for stressed sound o. The resulting singular you form is ты шлешь, you send. All the other endings in this pattern have only one variant of spelling and will be highlighted blue. The next verb form comes with pronouns he, she, it. Its pronounced ending is от. Then we get он шлет, he sends. Она шлет, she sends. Оно шлет, it sends. We form has pronounced ending ом. Мы шлем, we send. Plural you form has pronounced ending оти. Вы шлете, you send. The next form is imperative singular, which is used when informally addressing one person. Its ending is "и". Шли, send, or ты шли, you send. Otherwise, we use imperative plural. Its ending is "ите", шлите, send, or вы шлите, you send. Now let's repeat the whole pattern. Я шлю, I send. Ты шлешь, you one person send. Он шлет, he sends. Мы шлем, we send. Вы шлете, you several persons send. Они шлют, they send. And now the imperative forms that are used for asking or demanding. Ты шли, you one person send. Вы шлите, you several persons send. Let's take another verb that follows this pattern. Let it be the verb whose they form is они пьют, they drink. All the endings remain same as in the previous example, but now the conjugated stem is пь, and it remains same for all present future forms. The imperative forms of this particular verb are irregular and are not considered here. In I form and they form, sound U follows soft consonant sound Y. That's why this sound U is denoted with a soft vowel letter U. Well, now we have all present future forms of this verb. Я пью, I drink. Ты пьешь, you drink. Он пьет, he drinks. Мы пьем, we drink. Вы пьете, you drink. Они пьют, they drink. Another verb following this pattern has they form они берут, they take. The conjugated stem here is bir. I form has the same stem, but now in I form and they form, sound U follows hard consonant sound R, and therefore is denoted with hard vowel letter U. Thus I form is я беру, I take. In the other forms the stem slightly changes. This will be considered in further lectures. We've now considered one basic conjugation pattern. However, it's not the most common one. Actually, it's the least common. Other basic patterns will be considered in the next part of this lecture. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know. I hope to see you again at my lectures.